right, lesson 23 for chapter 3. We're going to take the stuff that we did in the previous section with revenue, expenses, and break-even points and kind of combine some of those ideas together. So let's start off with a particular item in the Picasso Paints product line costs $7 to manufacture, and the fixed costs are $28,000. The demand function is that. Find the expense equation in terms of price. So I want at the end expense to equal something that's got the variable P in it. Okay, so let's start off with finding our expenses in terms of quantity. So this would be what you had done in the previous section here. So here is your variable cost. Here is your fixed cost. So you're going to start off, your expense will be $7 times the quantity plus your $28,000. Then I am going to take this and replace the Q with that. So I would take and plug that into that spot. Distribute in the 7 to both of those and combine your like terms, and you will end up with an expense equation in terms of price. So negative 3,500p plus $238,000. So using this quantity right here from a moment ago, what is the revenue function for the Picasso Paints product? And I want to write the revenue in terms of price. So revenue, so how much money you're going to make is going to be how much you charge for something times how many things you sell. So if you make 10 items and you sell 5 of them, you would make $50. So revenue is equal to price times quantity. That's a formula you're just going to need to know. So I want it in terms of price. So I'm going to replace the Q with the Q that I had right here. So I would have P times the negative 500P plus 30,000. Distribute the P to both terms. And you got R is equal to negative 500P squared plus 30,000P. So that would be your revenue in terms of price. Okay, I want to determine the revenue and expense for this at the break-even point. So I just did a revenue equation on the previous page, and I did an expense one on the page before that. So here are the two equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Desmos for this. So in class, I'm going to talk about how to manipulate Desmos around. You're going to take your two equations. Now, you can replace the P's with X's if you want to. You do need to make these things Y's in Desmos. Sometimes it throws it off, sometimes it doesn't. I think to be on the safe side, it's just easier to use Y and X. And you notice here I used Y and P, and it didn't affect it. I would typically use Y and X to do that. So you type these things in, and you're not going to be able to see them on the screen very well. Well, you're not going to see them on the screen. You'll see this little itty-bitty piece like here in the corner going straight up is all you'll see. So you're going to need to use your fingers to adjust how to do this here. And again, I will show that to you in class, or I'll do that one-on-one with you if you need me to. So there are two intersection points, all right, here and here. So you need to be able to see those intersection points, and on Desmos, just click on them and the points will pop up. So after you do that, obviously you have two numbers for a point. So the X values are going to be the price. And in this case, it'll be the break-even price. The Y values are the revenue and or the expense. They're going to be the same number because it's where the two things are equal to each other. So that Y value will be the revenue and the expense. So on this example, so your price will be about $8.08, and your revenue / expenses will be a little bit more than 200, almost 210,000. And on this one down here, your price would be $58.92 with a revenue/expense of almost $32,000. So the big thing with this is answer the question that's being asked. So in this one, it does ask for the revenue and expenses, so that's why I listed those. I would typically round them to the nearest. I mean, if you're talking about revenues, those are big numbers, so the cents don't particularly matter, but you can list them or don't. But on the prices, because those numbers are small, make sure that you list the cents that would go along with those. So that's lesson 23 from chapter 3. Let me know if you have questions.